In the heart of our great nation, where the strength of our communities is built upon the foundation of strong and loving families, an urgent crisis is unfolding. Child Protective Services, CPS, an institution designed to safeguard our most vulnerable, has in many cases betrayed its noble mission. Too often, families are torn apart not by neglect or abuse, but by systemic failures and corruption. We can no longer stand idly by as these injustices continue. We are here to give a voice to those who have been isolated, to shine a light on the corruption, and to rally our fellow citizens in this critical fight for justice. Every day, countless families are caught in a web of bureaucracy and abuse of power, their lives disrupted and their bonds shattered. Children, who should be nurtured and protected, are instead placed in situations that can be just as, if not more, harmful than the circumstances from which they were taken. Parents, often bewildered and powerless, face insurmountable odds as they fight to reunite with their children. This is not the America we believe in. We cannot allow these injustices to persist. Our mission is to educate, to inform, and to inspire action. We promise to bring you daily updates on CPS, exposing the truth and fighting for reform. We must remember that the future of our nation depends on the strength and unity of our families. By standing together, we can hold CPS accountable and ensure that it fulfills its true purpose, protecting children and preserving families. This is a fight we must not and will not lose. We are committed to saving our families and securing a brighter future for all. The road ahead is challenging, but with your support, we can make a difference. Together, we will bring hope to those who have lost it and ensure that justice prevails. Let us unite with unwavering resolve and a sense of patriotic duty to safeguard the integrity of our families and the future of our nation. The children in our country are being made to be the victim of a situation they are not involved, and then sent to a foster home where they again are reintroduced to trauma of being the odd ball. Our courts are contaminated with young, inexperienced caseworkers and polluted with bribes, high-priced bonuses for speedy adoption of terminated parents, and judges who don't practice law with the Constitution in their sights. This is a problem. George Washington never thought of children as pawn in the game of freedom and American values, and never had he wanted to sell them. They were from his maker, his creator. Our children are being run down for no other reason than the profits being made in some way. Somehow these government agencies make money hand over fist day in and day out. They have you go to classes that they are billing for, and there is no viable reason for you to attend. Yet when you hear an update, CPS tells you that you're further away from when you started. Reunification is your goal, not theirs. And after you go through 12+ months of grueling, painstaking classes and meetings, all while getting the slimmest amount of time to visit your child, and even worst, you are always supervised, never alone again with your child. It's awful. How do they feel, do you think?
Where's the outrage? Why is nobody standing up for these families being torn apart by CPS?
Please don't tell me you're going to put all your bets on this superhero. You grown-ups are supposed to be coming to his rescue. Stop ignoring this problem. There is nothing more I can say to any of you. Please fight CPS and help those who have lost so much they can help themselves.
In the United States, CPS makes upwards of $3 billion per day on trafficking and selling our children. The corruption may start with the caseworker, but goes through the judicial system, passing the governor through the Senate and into the White House. The entire system has a hand in the business known as CPS.
Our children are stolen every minute of a 24-hour day. They are being robbed of their innocence, their trust, their happiness. As parents, we are isolated and betrayed by a government we trust. States are balancing budgets on kids' lives. Only 12% of the kids taken will be reunified. Title IV funding is being riveted with fraud.
We need to stop CPS and abolish CPS.com is leading the way. Join us.
All right, everybody, welcome to CPS Victims Fighting Justice. I am your host, the CPS Punisher. It is Monday night.
In the United States, CPS makes upwards of $3 billion per day on trafficking and selling our children. The corruption may start with the caseworker, but goes through the judicial system, passing the governor through.
Tonight, we have a special guest that we're waiting for. So I'm not going to announce that yet. But what we do have up here is we've got the chat right over here, right to our right. Right there. We got some Tammy doing some gospel up there for us. Pow! There it is. Thank you, Tammy. Give her liberty or give her death. Give her something. Give her kids back or get these guys a slap in the ass. I'll tell you what. This stuff is heating up and Donald Trump is going to be the way to get it. He's going to be the way to get us there. I'm telling you right now. Don't forget that on February 14th, we have our... we made a title for it, Family Freedom Day, or, I just don't, what, sometimes when you make a title for something, you're just not sure if you nail it right, you're like, it's good, I'm not sure. So, as of right now, it's still up in the air. It's going to be really cool, though. We're going to leave messages for the president, tell him what we want, who you are, introduce yourself, all that good stuff. We'll have, well, we won't have anything really. You can just come here and film your message, and then we'll ensure that it gets to, well, we're not going to ensure anything, but we're going to try as like hell to get Mr. Trump and his administration to recognize that we are screaming for help and we need it. So if you guys want to join us on that day, Valentine's Day, I think we're going to kick off 7 o'clock or something like that. We would greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate you guys and everything that you do and the time you give up for watching us and supporting us. I mean, it's really awesome. So thank you guys very much for all of that. While we're waiting up here, what's up, Athena? While we're waiting here, I'm going to bring Benny out. You guys got any questions? Does anybody have anything on their head tonight that they need to get off, that they need to bring up, that they want to talk about, that they need to have some advice on? Before we get going here, we got Herbert. Looks like he's coming in, but I'm going to get Vinny out here. Vinny, the Freedom Fight out here with me. Vinny!
Right. Hey!
What's up?
Not much, man.
All right. So, what's up? What do you hear? What do you got going on? Where do you want to go this way? We go Brandon.
Yo,
that's my Joe Biden invitation. Jamie.
Let's get Herbert out here and see if he's got Miss Griffin coming.
We got a thumbs up on the guest or what?
Yes, we have a thumbs up. I just hung up with her. And what happened was I gave her the other link, and I was on, and it wasn't working. And then finally I saw you pop a link in on me, Vinny. So what I got to do now is get off and send her the new link.
Yeah, because it did change. Yeah, it did change.
So what's going on nowadays? I mean, I got to get off the phone.
I think you're going in a direction. I think you're going to go in a direction that we're not going to go on the air. So let's stay right here. We started at 10:15. That's where we start. That's where we're starting from now on. That gives Kim time to get off of her show.
That's fine.
So
That's fine. My question to you, Darren, is this: you remember once before you said, "Oh, we don't have to have any more new links. We use the same link all the time." Has that changed?
we should have. I don't know. I don't know what Vinny did. Did he switch the show? I don't know what he did. It should be the same link.
Well,
I don't know what happened. Did you post a new link?
I think it is the same link. I think it is the same link because when I looked at it to the one that I sent him before, it was the same link. So I just wanted to make sure you had it.
Yeah, I got it. I was on the phone with her when you sent me the link, Vinny. I was on the phone with her, and because I told her she wants to know what time it starts. She said 9:00, but then I realized we don't always start at 9, so she might get on there and see nothing. All right, let me get off and let me bring her. Her name is Dr. Griffin. Okay?
Dr. Griffin.
Okay. So let me. I'll get off. Senator.
Hurry back. Yep.
Do you see who's on the screen here?
How are you doing, Brooke?
This is our girl, Brooke. She is mad at me. But what do you know about our guest tonight, Benny?
Well, she's very educated in helping parents get through their trauma. She has one hell of a background. I was reading over her bio that she gave us, and her name is Danielle Wealth.
Yeah.
It says knowledge and experience spans over a decade. She has taught in her higher education, complete religious training to become a certified yoga instructor, hippotherapist, and NLP practitioner. Studies under renowned hypnotist Paul McKenna further solidifies her expertise in these areas. Thought her coaching, yoga classes, and hippotherapy sessions, Danielle helps others overcome self-doubt, cultivating mindfulness, and unlocking the true potential. Her passion for sharing her knowledge is evident in her 2-book series, Systematic Exercise Made Simple. And there she is.
There she is.
We're waiting on Herbert, Miss Griffin, and then we will bring you out because Herbert is the one that's supposed to be doing your introduction. Now, where's Mr. Herbert?
There he is. Herbert, let's have the introduction of introductions here, Herbert.
You'll have to send me a link. I can do that, Brooke.
I got it right here on the second thing. I'll send it right now.
Okay, cool. Aha, there she is. A face. I see a face. There's Herbert. All right, Herbert.
Vinny.
Oh. There you go.
With you guys. Okay.
Herbert,
All right.
feedback.
Yes. You have feedback. I don't know how it's possible. I got plugs in my ear.
I don't know. You got something going on with your mic sound. I don't know what it
Let me
is.
pull.
Do you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it. It's on his end.
It's on my end.
You're
all right, I'll go off. I'll come back on again.
All right. So, Vinny, let's hear an introduction.
All right, everyone. So we have Miss Danielle Griffin with us. She is
Dr. Griffin.
Dr. Griffin, actually. So we are going to bring her out. She is very well versed in dealing with trauma and everything else. So I'm going to kind of let her explain to you guys what she really does. So Dr. Griffin, come on out.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening.
How are you today?
I'm all right. How are yourself?
I'm doing well. Hanging in there. Busy Monday.
Busy Monday.
You get a lot of that? You get a lot of trauma after the weekend?
For some people, more recovering from.
Right.
Did you want to give a little bit of your background for everyone, Dr. Griffin?
Yeah. So I am what I call holistic wellness coach. So I focus on using mind, body, meditation to help heal from trauma, heal the body of physical pain, anxiety, stress that is caused from either traumatic events or just daily life, helping so that people don't have to constantly visit the doctor, take prescription pain medications, or other sources of relief.
Mm-hmm.
And you can use your mind mobility movements to help relieve some of that stress and pain. And so I show people how to do it. I arm them with the tools that they need so they can do it from the comfort of their own home and safe spaces that they've made, and being able to do it on a daily basis so that they can reduce some of that stress and anxiety that they have.
Now, are you doing things using like muscle testing and things along those lines? Do you touch that type of stuff, or is that what direction do you go?
It's all holistic, so it's a combination of breath work,
Mm-hmm.
movement, and meditation. And so I'm a certified hypnotherapist, I'm a certified somatic and yoga expert. And so using simple mobility movements, teaching people breath work techniques to help calm the nervous system, calm your body, relieve stress and anxiety. And then with the meditation, which I specifically use hypnosis and self-hypnosis as the form of meditation to reach the subconscious to help overcome maybe limiting beliefs or doubts, whatever individuals are struggling with, or just in general relieving some of that anxiety that they might have.
What's a good way to recognize that you need help in this area? What are some sure signs that, wow, I need to seek some help because I'm just engulfed in so much blah in my life? Like at what point, or what are some signs that people need to look for to know that they need to contact someone like you?
Yeah. Oftentimes people are kind of in this long-term traumatic state, this constant stress, anxiety. You might constantly feel pain in your neck and shoulders. It can start to transfer down to the back. If you're feeling kind of unexplained body aches and pains, that's often caused from long-term trauma, long-term stress, anxiety. And when we say long-term, it's usually like a 3 to 4 month period or more, right? That's when they kind of clinically consider it to be a chronic pain. And so if you're finding like, hey, I have these aches that just aren't going away, that's when you can start to use some of these techniques. If you find that you have some of these pains that are triggered in certain situations, like maybe when you're talking to certain people or interacting with certain people, or the thought of going into certain environments can trigger some of that pain, that anxiety, that feeling, even the feeling of wanting to be isolated because of some of these thoughts. It doesn't always have to be physical pain, but just the stress of certain situations. if you find that happening and on a consistent basis, you're having trouble overcoming it, that's when you want to start, kind of getting help, finding techniques that work for you. And a lot of it is about listening to your body, using your intuition to understand where that pain is coming from, where you're feeling it, why you're feeling it, and using some of these techniques to help relieve it.
Right. Now, I don't know. I have so many different directions I want to go with questions for you right here. So sorry, guys, if I'm overtaking your time, but okay, something, a basic. Want to go with that one, or how about this? How about when you talk about pain in different areas, meaning different things? Can you go on that a little bit more? Because I know, like, so some of the things that I'm versed in, and like you have like I do emotion coding and things like that. So like different pains in different areas mean different things for your body. Like, so is that what are some of the similarities or similar things that you have, like, for someone that's experienced immense trauma? Where would their pains possibly begin to fester in what you're going at in your line of in your line of work?
It can depend on the trauma, but most commonly it's going to be head, neck, shoulders, and back. It starts in the head usually because of the mental burden that we carry from it. Oftentimes people will get headaches because of the pain and the anxiety, the worry, and those headaches, like I said, start to travel down. You have what we call the vagus nerve. It starts, at the top of the spine here and travels down. And so that's a part of your central nervous system, and it's directly linked to a trauma response. And so again, from the stress, the burdens that we're carrying from the traumas will cause you to immediately go into a flight or fight state. And when you're in that state for long term, you have to find ways to relieve it, activate the vagus nerve is the terminology that we use. And the best way to do it is through the breath work. The movement, and the meditation itself helps to bring the body back into a kind of a homeostasis, a centered state. And practicing that on a regular basis can help bring the body back to a normal state faster. But it does take time.
So, Dr. Griffin, Vinny, Darren, I did give Dr. Griffin a heads up on what we're all about and what we're dealing with. So, with that in mind, that she knows a little bit about what we're all about, my question to you is: many parents are going through the corrupt CPS system with anxieties, depression, and PTSD. How can your message address those mental health challenges, knowing that they're going through situations where their children has been taken, and it's really on their brains 24/7?
Yeah. I found that these techniques are a really great outlet for people. If you find your mind is getting consumed by it, maybe you have to fill out some paperwork, or maybe you're just stressed because it's been an extended period of time and you haven't heard anything. It allows you to decompress and find something else to focus on. Focusing on your body, your mind, your healing, right? You can't be of service to other people, your children, your family, if you're physically broken. And so this gives you the opportunity to help yourself. And it, really only takes a few minutes a day. You can do it for moments here and there throughout the day. I find it very beneficial for me if I do it in the morning. It helps kind of level set for the day, put me in a better mentality. And then if I find, stress, anxiety creeping up, taking a few minutes to bring myself back down and resetting. And then I've also found that even for myself, before having started this, suffered from insomnia. I'm up late nights, doing a lot of work at night, getting like 3 hours of sleep. This has really been a game changer for helping, like I said, kind of calm the nervous system, relieve my mind of external stress, worries, so that I can calm down enough to rest. And even if I am waking up in the middle of the night, I can use those same techniques, the breath work, keeping my eyes closed, not trying not to go straight to my cell phone, and just allowing myself to breathe, that slow, calming breaths, calm me down so that I can actually go back to sleep. That had been a big problem for me, like maybe sleep for a couple hours, wake up, and then I'm up for the rest of the night. I now have tools so that I can go back to sleep and get a decent rest.
Okay. So, will that help parents if they're suffering from headaches and insomnia and self, they feel like they did something, or, derogatory or whatever. They just feel down on themselves. How can you get them to lift up their spirits?
Yeah, that primarily comes through the meditation. So finding things to focus on, finding positive memories, positive outlooks, the way that you want your life to look, reflecting on that, reflecting on times where you're happy, and anchoring those feelings that you had in those moments, anchoring those memories, so that throughout the day, if you are starting to feel down, you can easily recall those situations to lift you back up, lifting your spirits back up. Lifting your spirits back
Would that
up.
also help? Will that
Optimism
also help
for,
with parents that feel? I'm sorry.
yeah,
I was going to say, will that help parents who are suffering from self guilt?
yes,
A
definitely.
lot of parents are feeling self guilt. They didn't do nothing wrong, but they feel self guilt from having the corrupt, in the children, or kidnapping the children. So is there something that they could do with their mind and themselves to try to get a good night's sleep, for example?
Yeah, definitely. You know, in general, nobody can change the past, right? We can beat ourselves up about things that happened, or things you could have done differently, or the situations that we were in. But we have to look at the positive outlooks and what is to come in the future. We recognize things may not have gone right previously, but we know the direction that we're going in, and we're making positive movements in the right direction. And as long as you're looking forward, constantly forward looking, constantly looking at the end goal, the past can start to become sort of a distant memory, graying it out, actually visualizing, when you're doing these meditations, visualizing that those negative memories, those things that are bringing you down, draining all the color out of it, not giving it any power over your life. When we take an image, you can close your eyes and reflect on a memory, and it's like a movie playing in our mind, right? If you drain all the color out of that movie, if it had negative experience on your life that impacted you in a negative way, turn it black and white. The whole meaning behind that experience changes. And then start thinking about positive things, things that made you happy, a positive future. You'll start to have a completely different association with that experience and start to look forward to the future.
Now, I actually have a question for you, Dr. Griffin, because you base on mindfulness, and that's something I've been actually working on with my counselor, is mindfulness. And she has taught me to harness and channel my energy to the things that I've loved, like gardening or being outdoors. And I have found that in doing so, I have a clear mind when I come back from doing what I love to do. Um, how would you interpret that into your teachings for that?
Yeah, that goes along with it. So one activity that we work on, whether it's in one-on-ones or in groups, especially if it comes to like some people that I work with, maybe they have, behaviors or addictions or negative things that they were doing in their lives that were causing damage to themselves or, um, you know, making it hard for their family or whatever the case may be. And we talk about replacing that behavior with something else, right? What is that thing that you can replace that's going to make you happy, that's going to bring you joy, that's going to help move you forward, that's going to distract you in a positive way from the situation. And so it's really about replacing behaviors. Instead of feeling stuck and hopeless, what can you do that's going to make you feel the opposite? And so we just kind of go through that activity. Sometimes it can be difficult, like, man, what can I do? What will I do? Like maybe I shouldn't be, binge eating or binge drinking. So what can I replace that behavior? What's triggering this behavior to make me want to do this? And what can I replace that with so that I'm not doing it?
What about if
and
it's
so for you,
like
might be an example.
Sorry,
go ahead.
what if you have like with what I'm dealing with right now, mine's not so much of a mental thing. It is, but in what happens is it's physically making me sick and ill. Like I'm yeah, I can't help it. Like it's physically, depression can eat you from the inside out, and if you can't find happiness in any little thing that you used to do, how do you pull yourself out of that? I will never be happy until I get my son back. There's nothing I can do to even have a little bit of happiness, even trying to fake it. But like I said, it's affecting me physically.
Right. I noticed you used the term fake it, but there's kind of the expression fake it till you make it, right? And there's certain truth to that. I don't necessarily care for that expression too much, but when it comes to the mind, when it comes to reminding yourself of the things that made you happy, and if it was being with your son, if you had certain experiences with your son, holding on to those memories, and those are your moments of happiness. trying not to, allow ourselves to drown ourselves in sorrow because of what we don't have, and reminding ourselves what we had, and that you can get back to that place. Keeping those happy moments to lift you up during times where you might feel down. So it's just like, holding on to those memories, recognizing that you can use those emotions to help you move forward. Like, we're in control of our own emotions.
True.
And this gives you
I'm gonna ask.
to do that.
I'm going to answer Tammy's question. She wants to know where you live, and I'll let her know you are in Texas. Am I correct?
Right.
Okay. And in terms of Brenda, she has she made a comment about brain endorphins. What are brain endorphins?
Endorphins, sir.
I think she meant
Endorphins.
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 Oh, endorphins.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes them stupid smartphones can mess up your texting.
I'm horrible at typing and spelling, for that matter. That's never
Me
been
too.
my forte, so I probably would have done the same.
That predictive
Thank God for
text sometimes can kick my butt.
See, a happy moment. See? It was just like that easy. I wasn't faking it. Everybody's laughing, having a good time. Quick little happy moment.
Endorphins.
There it is. Yeah. See, you don't have
Dolphins.
to stage the moment. You just have to be the moment.
I mean, dolphins could probably make you really happy. I mean, they're funny characters.
Yeah. I mean, that in itself, a mindful technique. If dolphins make you happy, you can think about dolphins jumping through the water and splashing around and swimming with dolphins.
Animals are a good happy maker.
Yeah. We often will use techniques for grief. If, say, somebody passed or you lost somebody, even these situations of your kids being stolen, that's a form of grief as well. You can reflect on the individual and what you had, but using things like pets, joyful moments with pets, jumping dolphins, whatever the case, things that are going to brighten your day. Whether it's, for me, it's like thinking about riding on roller coasters. Like, that's something that immediately, generates endorphins for me, brings me joy, brings a smile to my face. Even in those moments of grief, I just sit and think about imagining myself being on a really scary roller coaster. And it just kind of brings me out of it. It doesn't mean that I'm never gonna remember the person or forget about them, right? I don't want to forget about them, but it allows me to distance myself from that feeling, that grief emotion that was causing me pain in that moment.
One of our listeners mentioned about supplements. They put down here magnesium, potassium, zinc, vitamin C, and D. Can that play a positive role in our emotions or feelings?
There is some science behind it. I'm no expert on supplements. I take various supplements myself as well, but through some of my own research, like some of them that you mentioned, like the magnesium, is helpful for sleep. Especially, I suffered for a while from like restless leg syndrome, and that's really helped kind of calm my nerves as well at night, as well with the the movement that I was mentioning, like the mindful movements, shoulder rolls, hip circles, and different types of stretches. Um, that helps relieve tension through the body and allows the muscles to relax and release.
Danielle, I was thinking the same thing.
I was just commenting on that same thing myself. I was just sitting there on that.
Same. She said roller coasters like it was supposed to be fun and exciting. And I'm like, no, welcome to my life. Nope. Nope.
True, yes. I have other positive associations, not necessarily just the roller coaster, but time with family and things like that that triggers more positive emotions for me.
How do you go about replacing things? So like me and my daughter used to do art stuff together, and I stopped. I haven't drawn a picture since then. I haven't painted a picture. I didn't do that. But that used to be like part of my life, a big part of it. And I haven't done it then since she's been taken or kidnapped, whatever we call them now. But what do you do? What are some things that you can do to, because I know you can sit there and say, like, think about it, but I can't think about it as a happy thing and be like, oh, let me paint a picture and be happy about this. Like, it enrages me, really. It pisses me off that I can't do what I want to do. So what are some techniques that you can use to just kind of chill yourself out of that mindset and bring yourself to the happy, like you're explaining?
Yeah. Well, if something that you used to do is causing the trigger, right? Then again, it's just finding an activity. Maybe it's a new activity for you that would replace it.
Right.
That's where a little bit of experimentation might come in on your part. Like, this is something that, even though my daughter is with me, I can create somewhat of an identity around it for myself that's helping me through this process. And so it just might be a new activity, finding, maybe it's gardening.
Right. I mean, life is an activity enough, just day-to-day living at this point when you're in this mindset. You get this depression, you get this, it's like, I can't even, well, I can't explain it, but it's like, you lose a child, you can grieve and you can move forward, but you lose a child this way, your child's still out there, they're still alive. So every day is just a constant, like Groundhog Day, and then if you're into this for like the fight, like we are, there's no rest, there's no nothing, God willing that however we
Constantly
do it to survive,
thinking about it.
we're just busting our asses, trying to figure out the truth,
Well,
trying to figure out a remedy.
I will say, and you said there's no rest. I understand when you're dedicated, you're eager to get the job done, you want to see results. But everybody needs rest. That's the only way you can heal. That's the only way your mind and your body can heal. So using these moments, even if your thing just becomes the meditation, I don't know if you have experience doing any of the meditation, trying some of the mindful movements, maybe that just becomes your thing. You don't have to leave the house or you're trying something brand new. It's just incorporating that into your life. But it gives your body the opportunity to rest, and that's so important.
Can you show us a couple of those techniques?
Yeah, of course.
That'd be great.
If you want, we can start with some of the breath work.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So if you're going to take a comfortable seat, or just making sure that you're somewhere where you're
this is going for me.
Not going to fall on the ground or something. And allow your eyes to close and start to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose, fill up your belly, expand your lungs. An audible exhale out through your mouth. Continue your normal breath at your own pace. Feel stress, anxiety start to melt away As your shoulders fall, your jaw starts to release. You might feel some shifting movements in your neck and shoulders as you relieve tension. On your next inhale, with your lips sealed, breathe in through your nose. Hold the breath at the top. And exhale out through your nose. Inhale through your nose. Hold your breath. And exhale out through your nose. Bring awareness to your body as you feel your chest rise and fall, your diaphragm expand. On the inhale, and compress on the exhale. On your next breath, continue at your normal pace. Start to flutter your eyes open, come back to the room.
I ain't gonna lie, I thought you were trying to hypnotize us at first because I was about ready to doze off.
But she does specialize in that. Right.
Yes. You can see just from the simple breath work, you start to relax, your tension, you're bringing awareness to your breath, and other worries and concerns start to go away. And then some movements that you can do now that your shoulders are kind of starting to loosen, fall. You can do some simple shoulder circles. And doing it breath to movement. So when you inhale, roll your shoulders up. And exhale down your back. It's going to be nice and slow. You're not going through the motions, just circling them out, but really feeling the movement, drawing attention to your shoulders and how you feel as you circle it out. And then always remember to do it the opposite direction. Keep the body in balance. After you do a few shoulder circles, you can do head tilts to the left and right. You can do neck circles, because the head and neck is where a lot of us carry a lot of our tension. So that's where most of us are probably going to gravitate to first, just to relieve some of that stress, relieve some tension we're carrying. And just those alone can be the difference of a few hours sleep at night. And then I always finish with some meditation, so allowing myself to close my eyes, and then whatever my intentions are for that. If it's having happy moments, letting that be my intentions, thinking of those positive moments. If it's just getting a good night's sleep, I might just do some more breath work, calming my mind, focusing on relieving tension. We do what we call a progressive relaxation. So relaxing the muscles from the top of our head all the way down through our toes. So gradually thinking, actively thinking about how each muscle in our body feels and what it would feel like if it got relaxed. What would I feel like if I was 2 times more relaxed, 3 times more relaxed, and just allowing the body to really get heavy, especially if you're laying down. And that's when sleep can happen. Just really allowing the muscles to release.
So, my question is, do you believe in like having like meditative music in the background as a help towards that?
Yeah. Um, there are different frequencies. I don't know if you've heard about like sound baths and things like that, but there's different frequencies of the brain waves that represent states of consciousness. And so alpha waves are like regular normal consciousness, but once you're in that theta wave, you're in the sleep state. And so you can use, there's recordings on YouTube or, any of our music apps, Spotify or whatever, and you can play those frequencies to help get you in those states to help you deepen and relax. Um, you know, but everybody's a little different. So for some people, that might feel more of a distraction, and others it can be relaxing and calming. So I don't think it
There's
hurts
some
to try it.
there's some that are like at certain frequencies that are like healing, have healing powers.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yes. Yeah. And so sometimes it takes a little trial and error to figure out what's your jam.
Well, I mean, and not to get too off topic, but we used to, around the whole United States and throughout history, we used to have bells. Well, those bells were meant to signify the way we felt. They helped calm us, but throughout history, they have gotten rid of these bells.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know much about the bells, but I know like there's sound bowls, different instruments and things that people use to hit the different frequencies, pitchforks or tuning forks. But I usually, just will turn on the theta waves on on my music app and either put my earbuds in or if I have a small speaker and just let it play and practice the breathing, the meditation, and eventually I'm in a sleep state.
Yeah. Oh, the raccoon.
Yeah,
You see that raccoon? He's gotten so big.
Oh, I know. She's
Holy
huge.
smokes.
I know. She's definitely eating. There you go. Keep your mind off things.
Yeah.
Just get one of them. They're like a toddler times 100. Get down. Down.
That's crazy. Now, if you fall asleep during these meditations, does it ruin what you were gunning for? Is it make
No,
Yep,
no.
toddler.
No, I don't say it ruins it. If you fall asleep, that just means you needed sleep,
Right.
When it comes, especially when I'm doing the hypnotherapy, the subconscious is an amazing thing. Even when you don't realize you're listening, you're picking up and absorbing. And so depending on what we're working on, you'll still get the benefits or the effects from whatever it is you're listening to. So you may not consciously be aware of it, but something got in there.
I like that.
I know one thing, especially some of my newer clients are like, what if I don't wake up? Like, well, you're
in trouble.
Therapy, you're truly in control. And if you don't wake up, it's because you fell asleep and you needed sleep. And that's fine.
She hypnotized you.
I'll wake you up if I need to, or I'll just let you sleep and you get your rest. So
now, when you do your hypnotized stuff, can you reach into a subconscious?
Yes, that's exactly what we would be doing. Reaching the subconscious, and working with you, talking, whatever the goal is of that session. It can vary. Sometimes it's just triggering certain emotions, like channeling joy, happiness. Sometimes it might be working on overcoming self-doubt, or if you're having a hard time coping with a past situation and moving forward, like recognizing, okay, this was happened in the past, but what could you do differently, and doing different visualization activities during that session, um, to let your mind know how to react going forward. If you're in this situation, recognizing this is what happened before, this is what I want to happen, this is how I want to handle these situations going forward.
Well, let me ask you this question. I have a child taken away from me. It's in foster care. I have no idea where that child is at. I just know it's in foster care. I'm going through all the movements and measures that Child Protective Services is telling me to go through. But I'm very, very, very worried and concerned about my child, who's 7, maybe 8 years old. And, it's not their fault that what happened just happened. And that's all I think about all day, all night. I can't get my mind off of it. How do I handle that in my brain?
Yeah. Just some of the techniques that we talked about, excuse me, centering, calming the mind, thinking about the breath. Those are some of the most immediate things you can do, especially if you feel like you're getting into an elevated stress response state. But then when it comes to the hypnotherapy, that's where we can work on setting your intentions, changing the subconscious outcomes of how you want to live your life, how you want to feel, how you want to move forward.
That's awesome. Really is. So, as you know, Darren's co-host and also the manager to do with the shows. How would you feel about joining us to do like certain shows during the week or at night where you come on and you help teach these things? That way, these our parents that are out here who are going through all these traumas will get the experience to learn how to do these.
Yeah, I would love that. I'm definitely happy to work with you. I can do some more meditative sessions, put you all to sleep.
I mean, I know for myself and Darren, we have a hard time going to sleep. Us two are always
Yep.
working late at night doing something.
Yep.
Yeah.
They call that
If
something.
it's your need, that's something I'm great at.
Yeah. What is it they call that,
I
Brooke?
found that nice.
I'm curious to
They
see what
call
you're
it
going to say
it's
about
something
this.
like the fireman's response, or something about the fireman's. We are awake all night because of trauma that we've dealt with, because we don't feel safe sleeping while everybody else is sleeping. So that's why we sleep during the day, because then we feel others are watching out for us.
You know
It's
what?
called
That
like
makes
the
sense. That makes sense.
fireman's response or something to trauma. Yeah,
Yeah,
That
I know what
totally
you're
makes
talking
sense.
about. Yeah.
right.
Afraid like at night something's gonna happen, so you gotta stay awake.
The trauma that
Yeah.
we've been through is, you're always on edge and constantly watching,
Yeah. Well, one thing that we learn and show the people that I work with, especially in this relaxed state, doing the meditation, you can still feel a sense of rest. You can still rejuvenate the body in that state and still have full awareness of your surroundings. You can you're in control, right? In control of your emotions, in control of how your body feels, in control of how you're using that energy of the breath and the mind to replenish what your body needs so that you can function on a day-to-day basis. Even taking those few minutes to breathe, relax the mind, it can feel like you slept a full night's rest and only 10 minutes went by. That could be something you just visualize, seeing yourself laying in bed, resting, and then stepping into that person, stepping into you, remembering what it felt like to sleep in the most comfortable bed, getting the best rest you've ever gotten, and then just laying there, and then coming out of it and seeing how you feel. That's something in itself that works wonders.
You talked a little bit about grieving. I think this type of grieving is kind of harder because you don't actually get any closure. Like, we're grieving our children that aren't dead or whatever, but they're not going to be with us for a long period of time. So I have a hard time getting past that grieving stage or whatever, and having a hope that I'm going to be getting him back. I'll fight till my very last breath. I still am. They got me hung up on some other stuff right now, but there's no sense of closure for these parents,
Right.
It's hard to not get hung up on that.
Right. And for a lot of people, that's the case. Not feeling or having that sense of closure, not being able to say goodbye or how you feel, or not knowing the next time you'll see them. But it's like we were talking about before, not reflecting so much on the loss, but the positive intents that you have, the goals you're working towards, and using that to give you hope for the future. So doing more forward looking than looking back.
More forward looking. I like that.
Are there any kind of things we can say or affirmations or anything like that that can get us through? I will do this, I will do that, or something. Is there any kind of affirmations you could think about to help us who have had our children's confiscated and kidnapped, that can help us get us through?
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of affirmations or things you can say, but I feel like the best are what's truly applicable to your life. You can say things like, I am capable, or I am loved, and this, that, and the other, but really thinking about what your goals are, what your intent is, and putting that into positive. If say your goal is, I need to get a job so that I can have income and secure a stable household, right? I am capable of finding stable employment. I'm what's the word I'm looking for? I'm valued. I have skills that are needed and that people appreciate and value, and I will obtain and create stability in my life and for the life of my child. Just as an example.
Okay.
So
All right.
really making it resonate with your own specific life and situation rather than using more generic, setting your intentions, creating a positive mindset around your life and your specific goals for yourself.
How can we deal with, say, subconscious guilt? We feel guilt. We feel like, well, if I, you know my words, Darren. If I knew better, I would have done better.
Or if you knew
And
better,
It's
you
like
did better.
society places that guilt on
right,
you.
yes. So if I knew better, I would have done better. And that's going through my mind as I'm thinking about my child that's in foster care, and I'm beating myself on the head, and that's not good for me. Um, because I may then start indulging in stuff that's going to harm my own health. So, what can I do to avoid harming myself? I mean, with a situation that I'm fighting. I'm fighting to try to get my child back, and I can only roll with the system.
Yeah.
How do I handle that?
And I'd say it just goes back to the forward looking, right? You have the guilt, and that is acknowledged, right? You don't know what you don't know. What happened, you can't change it, but you can change the outcome. You can change how it impacts your life and how you move forward. And so again, that's just the constant forward looking, setting your goals, setting a positive mindset around what you want for yourself and your life, and moving forward with that.
Where's that? Yeah, that's good. Well, Dr. Griffin, this is great. Thank you so much for doing this with us. They're all chill now. Look, everybody's all zombied out. So, hey, we do this thing called the last words or last thoughts, and I'm going to let it start with Herbert. He can show you, and if you want to join in with some last thoughts with us, you certainly can. But Herbert, why don't you show the doctor what the last thoughts are?
Well, my last thoughts are: whenever you have CPS personnel and the police come to your door and they do not have a warrant, do not let them in. Don't even open the door. Talk through the door and ask them, how can I help you? And if they say they want to come in and do a wellness check, you ask them, do you have a warrant? They say no. Then say, I'm sorry, you have to come back. And I promise you, the police and the CPS both are going to try to talk you into coming in the house. They're going to try to be your friends. They're not your friends. Police officer is not your friend. CPS is not your friend. Don't let them in. Okay? Also, be careful on sharing your business with other people, because other people may want to use that against you. So keep your own counsel.
Hell yeah. Yep, that's a good one. Brooke, you want to do your last thoughts?
To add on to Herbert's there, if they want to do a welfare check, you ask to meet them in their office. They don't need to come in your house. Meet them first at the office. Have a meeting there. Don't bring your children with. And then what was that last part you said? This is my trauma. Yeah, just don't let them in your house. You don't have to talk to them. Make sure you keep your business off social media, because they do have social workers that constantly are going through your feed if you have an open case. it's best not to speak about it at the time. Wait till it's over.
Gotcha.
They twist
Dr.
words.
Griff?
Dr. Griffin.
I was just looking at Sam's affirmation. I really like that. So thank you, Sam. I would say my last words are, you just remember you're always in control. You're in control of your mind, your body, your spirit. You control your emotions, and you're in control of your future and your outcomes.
All right. Thank you too for coming in tonight. This was great, and we definitely, like Benny said, you're definitely gonna need to be back here with some more of this for us for sure.
Yeah, I will definitely reach out to her. I have her email, so I will get with her on a schedule when she can, and I will get that to you when I get it from her.
Perfect. All right, Benny, last words, buddy.
My last words are going to be this tonight, guys. Remember, we are all in this together. We are all fighting side by side. No matter our differences, no matter our race, no matter any of that, it doesn't matter. This is for our children. We are starting to get a lot of headway. We are starting to get heads turned. So we cannot give up. We need to keep fighting because our children are our legacy.
Good one, Benny. That's good. Yeah, we are making headway, that's for sure. And it's because everybody out here that's watching us, that's sharing us, that's liking us, that's doing all the things that they need to do, are doing it. So they're doing their part, so we're doing our part too. We bring good guests on like Dr. Griffin here. Sam, I'm going to be speaking to here after the show, because we all need to realize that our mental health is just as good, is just as important as our well-being and everything else. And if we can't fight for our kids, then what good are we going to be when they come home, or even to try to continue with this? So take care of yourselves, everybody. Don't forget, if you have suicide thoughts, son of a biscuit, I'm sorry I said that word, unaliving thoughts, bad things happening, there's a 988 number that you can definitely reach out to, or you can reach out to one of us. Always, don't ever do something stupid, because your kids are going to need you when they come back, because they are coming back. So everybody, have a good night. Do things good for you tonight. Go to bed, have something good thoughts about you and your kids playing, and wake back up tomorrow. We'll start kicking ass. That's for that. I'm the CPS Punisher. We're out of here.
Let's go. The world getting crazy, baby, chill. Don't medicate, just meditate. You waking up now, well, baby, you hella late. Educate, look at what's going on, let it resonate, accelerate. Find your inner hunger like you never ate. Agenda is to push the hate. Separate and segregate, don't celebrate. Quite yet the storm is coming, cue for heaven's sake. Violence that they demonstrate, instigate and penetrate the values of our country, and our God is what they desecrate. My fighters ain't no featherweight, pulling out the seams of the fabric that they fabricate. They feed us lies, manipulate, intimidate through fear and force, forcing us to sit and wait till we come together, congregate. Then we liberate, praying that you give me strength to find some love amongst the hate. Marching on the streets of blood till I see the golden gates. Troubadour, troubled souls, one of God's servants. Blades out, cut the grass till we see the serpents.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
I know the truth is hard to swallow, just digest it. Suspect that something's going on. chose to just neglect it. Deflected by some breaking news. Oh, we just accepted, expected just to fall in line and follow their perspective. Don't question their objective, but I got a lot of questions. How these kids molested, but nobody's been arrested. Read it in the testament, these children are protected. So I'm fighting all these terrorists, both foreign and domestic. Refuse to be directed, lying out of sheep. Only kneel to my God, so I'm dying on my feet. Silence when we speak, but there's violence in the street. I've been rolling with the punches, I can't take it on the cheap. Drink from a glass half full, I'm optimistic. People are sadistic, so vicious and malicious. Praying for assistance to overcome opposition. No, I'm gonna start resisting, and then I'll pray for forgiveness.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now. We need you now. We need you now. One day, one day, one day, I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.